everybody. Patriot Sons Podcast, episode 116, a continuation of I Am the Science. And God, we got more than enough to talk about, and I didn't even bring a science doom scroll. I just want to open with this, JC. I didn't grab the clip because it just wasn't worth it to me, but I saw a clip from MS Now, M Snow, formerly MSDNC, and so there's lots of evidence coming out about the science with actual data. We can get into VAERS. I can probably bring that chart up in a little bit later. I'd have to open a different screen.
Yes.
But they were talking about the move away from recommendations for 10 and under, period, for any reason whatsoever. And then they're looking at 18 and under is not a good idea. And they're trying to come up with maybe 70 or 67. Anyone over that, if you want it, it's your choice because it's 50-50 shot, right? Go for it.
I wouldn't do it.
Oh, I know, I
There's
get
just
it, but I think you're
that's
getting into right to try at that point.
right. I mean,
So
it exists. It exists. You could do it if you think it'll help. Talk to your doctor, see what you think. Right.
absolutely. So obviously they bring on the M Snow doc, who's got some other chart, probably about a year old, which is that's what they're going on. They're not looking at what Kennedy and Barchata and all of those people are looking at right now. And they're like, no, actually, we show quite the opposite. That this, like, if a child under 10 gets SARS-CoV, they're far more likely to have, blood clotting, myocarditis, pericarditis, than if they had taken the vaccine. And that's why I didn't bring it. But I just want to point out that the news is just because they hate Trump, and so by default they hate Kennedy. Uh, they're just going to still snowball all the numbers, and the people who need to hear this the most are never going to get to hear this because their eyes are glued to CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. It, it, I wish we get. I wish we could get our podcast on their TV for 1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour. And I'm going to go back to the little lady across the street who was one. Everyone knows someone like her. The overly active, busybody woman, 77, 78 years old, gets all of her joy out of working in her yard, raking the leaves here with the not running a tractor, but she'll even run a leaf blower. She's constantly scooping up yard waste and making sure that it's in there and waving to everybody and talking to everyone. And she ended up and she and her husband, he finally told me, he's an old German guy, so we connect pretty well, that they're Pfizer shareholders. So when she went and got booster number 5, here comes the neurologic syndrome known as CIDP, which is enlargement of organs, and her mobility and everything else shot to shit. And now she's in a care facility. And I really would like to see how she would respond to Patrick Soon-Shiong's interleukin 15, and yet it's still gummed up. And I reached out to Natural Immunity for the Win to find out if her ionosol IP6 or whatever she calls it they use for cancer, if this could help. She hasn't answered me yet. I still have hope. I've invited her on the show. She did answer that time. I told her stuff was great. I sent you pictures of her. She's 43. She looks like she's 28.
Right.
She obviously has answers about aging and health, and she's really smart, but she's not on Twitter all the time, and so she's hit or miss, and you feel trapped. But at the same time, I want to say this about RFK Jr. If Cam Bondi was 50% as effective at DOJ as RFK Jr. has been at HHS, we'd be ready to raise a statue to Pam Bondi. We would.
Oh, I
Is
couldn't
that
agree more.
yeah? But all we get are Fox hits. All the higher the volume, the more Fox hits she does. That seems to be her absolute only answer to anything. And my screen name right now is Counterfeit Cash. And I want to say to Cash personally, brother, they're coming for you. You thought you'd get exempt because you kept talking about the interagency and everything else. You're trying to play nice, and they're still going to take you out. And if you don't do anything about this, brother, if you don't, once Trump's term is up and you're a private citizen again, you're going to die in jail. You are.
Oh,
You are.
especially if the Republicans can't figure out the message moving forward into staying in power. Absolutely.
Right.
I mean,
Well, obviously,
even Scott Adams, I think, said we're all going to be in jail. Just face it.
yeah. And why Cash thinks that cozying up to the deep state, the interagency process, is going to provide him some sort of absolution. Look,
I,
I look, he as Elliot Ness, he's great. He's going after the bad guys. He's doing this. We're locking up this guy. We're locking up that guy. We're breaking up this trafficking ring. We're doing this. We're doing that. But Adam Schiff walks free. Huh?
right. Well,
What
all right.
took us?
I've got a theory on that though. Is I don't know that Cash is the type of guy that doesn't want to get all of them, but he's got a boss he answers to that's currently on Fox News with her blonde hair talking to somebody who I think is much more interested in becoming a media personality, which is so disappointing because as Attorney General in Florida, she was brilliant. She was prosecuting everybody for everything, and she just doesn't seem interested for Trump. She doesn't.
I'm sorry, but I heard that the federal investigators are descending on Minnesota, and my overall reaction is, so what? They're not
Right.
going to
What
do.
are they going
They're
to
not going
do?
to. They're not going to do anything. Who's
Ah,
going to get? Are you going to arrest Tim Walz? Because that's what you should do.
right.
Are you going to arrest Jacob Fry?
He's out there
Is
advertising today for yet a new fraud scheme for illegals
yes,
and others of 20 weeks
and,
paid
and
family
he
leave.
believes they won't defraud it. Really?
No, he
They've only
doesn't. He said, well, that's what the words he says. You know, he thinks the opposite. That's why he said illegals are included in this program.
right, or he would have said they weren't.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not fraud. They're just illegal.
No, no, they just need help. Ah, uh, I it truly, Sean, it's the theater of the absurd, and I can't believe Bongino is still employed. I really can't. I consider it a black mark against him that he hasn't quit.
Well, the thing is, he can't go back into podcasting and think he's going to have any level of success if he doesn't talk about his time there. And he is going to be under like a 10-year NDA to not
Yeah,
talk about anything during his time. At least 10, maybe 20-year NDA. And so his audience won't understand that he would have to give up all his monetary possessions for violating the NDA and then go to prison. So we can't talk about it. But you're going to go, you're a pussy. You're right.
well,
Spill the
it may
beans.
sound it may sound really dark, all right, and so be it. But as far as the midterms go, if the Supreme Court doesn't give us any help on ethnic uh, only districts,
Which they're
it's
unconstitutional to begin
going to
with.
be a tough sled. I mean, the racial gerrymanders are clearly unconstitutional, and they should be taken down.
Totally agree. So does the Canuck, by the way.
and it's in the works. But what's gonna happen
Well,
is 80.
apparently Pam Bondi's DOJ is suing California over racial gerrymandering with Prop
Really
50. Yeah,
good.
but well, let's see if she appointed the special prosecutor properly this time. Uh,
I mean, if you put Eagle Ed Martin in there, that'll work. But
well, I mean, they're going to get re-prosecuted, but Comey and Letitia James, right? All the courts found. Well, Bondi didn't appoint the prosecutor properly. There was some sort of remedial paperwork error.
oh, well, did you hear the nonsense about how the president has 120 days on an interim appointment, and then once that interim appointment is over, then it's up to the courts. The courts have decided they're in charge. Really? Is that true? The courts have control over Article 2 appointments to the executive branch?
No, Congress does, but Congress isn't approving the appointment within the 4 month window,
Right.
giving away, usurping their power to the judiciary, just like with acts of war since World War II, other than on terror, they have usurped their power to declare war to the executive. Congress has usurped all of their power away.
They've abdicated.
Yeah,
They absolutely, and they say it's delegation, but it's not delegation. It's just
it's their job. It's
abrogation.
written into their article.
I know. And next year, you've seen their legislative calendar. They're not going to work a day over 6 months. They're not. They're going to take half the year off,
Of course.
and they're not going to pass the spending bills. They're not going to do anything. I saw Mike Davis prostrating himself about John Thune today, saying, "Oh well, he's going to get 88 more people through." I mean, Mike,
Really?
Mike,
When?
wow,
Do
wow.
you guys realize the primaries are in 3 months, and you expect an already low turnout type of election like primaries to get anyone excited when you've just obstructed Trump the entire time?
And you barely beat Afton, Maine, and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
she's a
mean, she's
sweetheart,
one of
isn't
those
she?
people who glues herself to the street.
Oh, I'm surprised she didn't walk into the office and glue herself to the office.
And yet I hear the auto pen pardons are null and void. Okay, so when do we put the cuffs on Fauci? I'm sorry, Dr. Science.
I the Biden cartel, Fauci, Adam Schiff, like all of them.
Sean, Sean, the the Dr. Science pardon was signed at 10:30 at night by the auto pen. There is no chance Joe Biden was involved in that process in any way, shape, or form.
Right. As much as I hate oversight committees, hearings, and I hate them, I scream about them every time they say they're going to have another one. There was an interview that came out that said that during the Biden's administration, there was many times there's no chain of command link from Mr. Biden all the way to the auto pen, and that many times it was just family members or cabinet
Of course.
members. I mean, so
Or
Trump
Jill Biden's
Trump
Jill
has
Biden's chief of staff, right?
Trump has the proof that
Yes.
he needs to do what he did, which is invalidate these. Well,
Okay.
the
So
problem is, I
when do
don't
we
know that
file
you can do
charges?
that by edict.
When do we file charges to
I
test
think
it?
I think you got to sue whoever AutoPen was, all of them.
Well, I mean, no, what you do is you try to prosecute the person who got the auto pen pardon, and then you let the judge decide if the auto pen pardon was valid. That's how you do it. You do it case by case. You've got to indict these people and prosecute. But we keep talking in a circle, you know. And we're not going to indict anybody doing Fox hits. We're not. That's not going to result in any form of law enforcement or justice that any of us would recognize. A Fox hit is great, but Massey, Rand Paul, and the gang have perfected that. The grandstanders and Jim Jordan to a much lesser extent now. You don't see him grandstanding at all. He's pulled the horns in. I mean, Tweeter Jim hardly tweets anymore. He's almost invisible. But he was the master of Twitter. He used to be out there every hour, and I kept calling him Tweeter Jim, and kept calling him out for doing nothing but tweeting. And he finally roped it in, but that doesn't mean he's doing anything. I saw that he subpoenaed somebody, right? I don't even know who it was, but it looked good. What will happen?
It doesn't matter, and that's what every time. I don't care whether it's Jim Jordan, Wrestling Jim, or any of the
Tweeter
other one
Jim.
of them. Jim Jim, G-I-M,
Tweeter Jim.
G-I-M. I have an automated response that just comes straight to my head. 0 meaningful prosecutions have ever come out of a judiciary hearing.
None.
And I just leave that. I send. They're worthless. All they are is it's illegal because they use these. They're on the job campaigning. You can't campaign on the job. You're using our dollars to campaign to collect videos for your TikTok, your Instagram, and your X accounts to post.
Sean, given that you're not an Indianan, but you're a Hoosier of long standing, James Comer. I can actually do a pretty decent James Comer. Well, we're going to take what Peter Schweitzer's found, and we're going to take this, and we're going to try to go further.
That was a good one.
Wait, I don't even care. Jim. I don't even care whether it's the judiciary. Tell me what committee hearing has ever produced either meaningful legislation or prosecutions.
Now, I will say I greatly enjoyed the weaponization hearing. What committee was that? Was there a weaponization committee? I heard something about that somewhere where they had some Twitter executives in there, and what was it, Vijaya or whatever her name was, right? And Clay Higgins was bellowing about how this is the fact-finding part. We're going to get to the arrest part. Okay, Clay, when's the arrest part?
Yeah, none of those people even. It's been 2.5 years since any of those people even worked for X.
I mean, counterfeit cash. What's in a name? And you listen. I don't usually just beat my own chest, but I knew I needed to move on from Bitch McCommunist. I knew I did because he doesn't make nearly enough news for anybody to care about him anymore, Edward. I mean, he used to have a great weekend update on internet radio, but no one listened, so we had to give up on that, all right? But I felt like a traitor when I changed my screen name to Counterfeit Cash, and now I feel totally vindicated.
And you should. Yeah, Turtle has left the scene. He's no longer with us. He's out. I don't know where in the weeds, but he's not on the screen anymore. On the
Edward, he's still controlling the Senate rules, and he's horizontal because he can't even stand up anymore.
Hey,
well, but,
he's on his belly. He's on his belly. He's on his belly, flapping his arms, trying to turn over. That's what the turtles do. Yeah,
he can't.
You mentioned Jim Jordan.
I mean, General Fox Barbie would also be a really good screen name.
Oh, good for you.
Fox hit Barbie. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Fox hit Barbie. I could see that. I think that could happen.
You mentioned Jim Jordan, and he did a great job on that Judiciary Committee. Everything he was doing looked great. I thought arrests were coming. I mean, he just had everything nailed down. I was sold on everything he was saying, and then nothing. And now, like you said, The guy's
And now Edward, as an
like,
encore, nothing.
no. It's so true. He's like
And
McConnell.
you
They're
know what?
done.
Look, I get like as a political junkie, I should be more excited about these things, and I'm not because there's never an end result, whether good or bad. Like I said, meaningful legislation,
Oh, no, Sean, you're
more
wrong there.
propaganda.
Bad gets a result. That bad gets, come on now, bad gets a result.
All they're doing
Absolutely.
is making the bad guys more popular to team socialism.
Ugh.
Right,
God, yeah.
right. Bad gets a result. And I mean, I was involved in this discussion today where one of my favorite, by the way, you have internet crushes. I mean, there's this young lady who I find to be quite attractive. I won't out her, but she's a fire breather. And in fact, she's not listening to this show, I'm sure. God, I hope not, because I'm about to anyway. She said once out loud in a tweet that, man, I really hate driving places with my husband. Anytime he hits one of those rumble strips, he can forget about it tonight. I found that one of the most entertaining internet quotes I've ever seen in my life, and I remind her of that at regular intervals. Of course, they're divorced. I mean, you can't stay married when you're harboring that sort of resentment against your spouse. But
Now we're almost
she
just.
she lost her niece to fentanyl, and she had to say was that, and the drug boat bot swarm hit her. She's got 1.5, 1,500 retweets or whatever on what she said about losing her niece to fentanyl, and the libtard bots are just swarming about how, well, she was obviously on cocaine too. You really, she was a drug abuser. She deserved what she got, and all I can do is talk about that legendary left wing compassion that I see out of all of you guys. Yeah, we're compassionate. We really care. Oh, we care so much.
Oh my.
Sean, unmute yourself.
They get to make this accusation with no proof, right?
It's a smear.
Yeah, it's defamation, it's libel, it's slander. But a lot of one of the issues is, not everybody actually has the money to pay a decent enough lawyer to go after these people for it that say this stuff. Second, if you win, it's a civil case. Now you got to collect the money, and these losers don't have any money to collect.
Right. You can ask Fred Goldman how that works.
It's true.
Hey, OJ's looking for the real killers on the 19th hole. Yeah.
Man, how much did he make off that book? If I did it,
Oh, just. I mean, we had a chance to reform our legal system behind Fred Goldman if we'd have just paid attention. And of
yeah.
course, it didn't happen. It did not happen. And you had the Kirk phenomenon. You had a revival, but you didn't have an awakening. You had a lot of sympathy, a groundswell of popular support, but they got right back at it as soon as things cooled down, like they always do.
Well, and then the influencers got visibly out of their league by going into state politics that they
They've been
don't
out of
know
their league
anything
all
about.
year. They've been out of their league all year. I mean, the Iran thing, they've never been more out of their league than on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So man, they need a general election.
They got undressed. I
Oh,
mean, Trump's going to lose his coalition. No, I really do think taking out Iran's nuclear capability is probably a mega issue. I don't think that
oh, it
and doing it
absolutely
in,
is.
and doing it in 3 hours, as opposed to 30 years like the State Department wants you to do. Yeah,
Well, and
and
then
then
all
still not doing it.
Yeah.
And then everybody all of a sudden finding out that typical, and you know who they are because they don't have any sort of real profile picture. They all have MAGA in the name, like ultra super MAGA,
Mm.
mega freaking fabulous conservative,
Yeah.
or the
Yes.
big Texas MAGA, and they're from freaking
He's from Pakistan. Yeah.
Pakistan, right? And oh, somebody asked me. My aunt asked me about that. She goes, "Do you follow any of these people?" I said, "No." I said, "We just your
Fuck
everyday
no.
MAGA voter that kind of uses social media." I said, "We all looked at this and go, there's no way. Like nobody is just like like big hat Texas Trump. Like there's no those people don't actually exist in MAGA. But you guys that watch CNN, you totally believe that's true because that's what CNN
That's what
makes
they're
us look
showing.
like. Because you go look at this
250.
MAGA tweeter here calling
200.
everybody.
Go ahead.
Am I wrong?
Nuh-uh. Those are the people.
250,000 bot followers. Yeah, okay. Way to go.
I couldn't
Great
even.
account.
I wanted to explain that to the ants, but I was just like,
Yeah.
no. I'm just gonna say basically, we all knew they were frauds. We just couldn't prove they were frauds from Pakistan until today. And we're very happy that we can prove the frauds from Pakistan, even though they were frauds a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
We know who the real guys are. Cat Turd is obviously a real guy.
Hmm.
Western Lensman is obviously a real guy. These guys bring content every day, and
Cynical
they do it good.
Publius, great account.
Yeah,
Cynical
yeah.
Publius.
Cynical Publius, great guy. They
James Woods.
and you can, and I mean, even oh, good God, what's that girl, Sassy Chickie? Remember her? Is California. I haven't seen much of her lately, but
Was it
the
Sassafras?
what?
Sassafras, that one?
Yeah, no, she's real. Down in
Yeah.
Florida.
She's
Yeah.
from Florida. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I
Same
know that
same
one.
kind of thing. Carson Crow, even Dr. Maga, the real estate gal in Oklahoma, but she
Well,
got
there
rid of her blue
Well,
check
there are
because she
plenty,
got
but
so disgusted.
you know what? You also you will see all of those people at some point in a spaces on a podcast. They're not. You never saw that out of super ultra dude,
Big head Texas MAGA.
big
No,
hat, Texas
never.
mega maga, super ultra mega maga.
And for all the people that hate Insurrection Barbie, she's actually a real person. She's in spaces all the time.
Oh
Yeah,
sure, and it's okay to be wrong.
right. And she is. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But
I
she's
mean, she says
entertaining.
she
I'm
says some
telling
things
you.
that are right, but she's wrong overall. I know.
Well, in general, to me, and if you're listening, Insurrection Barbie, I highly doubt it because we travel in different spaces, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I just think you look at it a little more emotionally than you should, and if you just wait 3 days and
Yeah.
let the dust settle, then you wouldn't have made that bad reaction to begin with. You would have let everyone else make that bad reaction,
It happens.
and then you go on with the story. And that's why even when we do doom scroll, there's times we tell people, here's what the story says. I'm not going to even give you my opinion on it. I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
Here's what they want you to know, but they're telling you to know. Not what really happened. So yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta wait for the real story because they're on. Never let the facts get in the way of a good story. That's CNN and MS Snow or whatever you want to call that.
Jim Snow!
Yeah, that's another.
Edward, I'm going to return to our original topic at the moment. I think it's worth mentioning that everywhere I look now, people have gotten their hands on these vaccines, and they're doing magnetic resonance imaging and centrifuging exactly, and they're looking at what's actually in there,
Yeah.
and and these things are impure. This isn't stuff that you would give to your dog. All right.
Right.
There's DNA fragments. There's all sorts of biological waste. There's toxicity in the shot itself. And I've said the words to people, and they look at me like I'm out of my mind. You don't know what's in the vial. You should not take any inoculation, much less give it to your child with an immature neural system, because the kid is building out his neural network and his nerves, and it's going to be with him the rest of his life, his brain and his reflexes and everything else. And if he's got a case of Gaucher's or ALS or whatever the hell it is by the time he's age 12, you've trashed his life with what's in that vial. And they're contaminated. And my opinion of pharma, uh, Sean, would you like to say it for me? I mean, the jury's in, but yet nothing happens,
Nothing
does it?
happens because what got out of control was never then held accountable,
Exactly.
because there is still things that happen. You just don't hear about them. There's things that happen in pharma that are actually very beneficial to
Oh,
people all the time. You don't hear about those, but why there's so much distrust among a majority of people, over 50% of the people, is because the bad stuff, nobody's ever been held accountable. And you hear, well, but Sean, Purdue Pharma and their opioid lawsuit, that didn't hurt them. It didn't hurt them
oh,
one bit. They were
no,
insured for that stuff.
no, no,
They
that
took it
that
out
did
of they took
nothing.
an insurance claim out.
They had LLCs and they retired wealthy. They couldn't give a shit what happened.
Sold all their patents.
Yeah,
They made a ton of cash on their patents.
yeah, it's big money.
So, I don't know if you can see it or I can make it bigger. I've got the VAERS report from
I'm looking at it. I've I've
20
seen it.
20 October of 2025. Um, dude, these numbers aren't good.
If you read the bottom of that, Sean, you'll find out that the other category had to be in there for the other things and illnesses that you couldn't fit on that paper. So keep that in mind. There's much more to that than what you're reading there. If you look at the other at the bottom and how many, I think it's a 47.5%. I think I can't read it because it's not up high enough, but
We're
that's very important to read that to know how much more there is to that and illnesses contracted. Right,
you are
No, no, no.
go ahead.
This is so VAERS is a vaccine injury reporting system, basically.
First alert.
So even the other is still an acknowledged vaccine injury.
Yeah,
Yes.
they only went by so many criteria, though. Not all of it, just some basic ones, and the rest is just kind of left off. I think that's a crime in itself on that report, wouldn't you think?
Let me make an offer to anyone who watches this. You send us an email requesting that. We'll send that to you, and we'll send it to you immediately. And what we want you to notice is that the data we just shared with you is only for Pfizer.
Yes.
Now, Moderna, it's worse. Okay, and I guarantee you, when the truth is finally told about Moderna, it's worse. In fact, as Alex Berenson, I'll give him a plug. Don't always love him. It's tough to take the New York Times out of the boy, but he does tell the truth occasionally. There was a kid that died in the Moderna trial, and it was covered up. How died in the study? The vaccine killed him, and they didn't disclose
Right.
because they thought it might lead to vaccine hesitancy.
You think?
Oh, heaven forbid
You think?
that someone wants their kid not to die.
Yeah. Uh,
So and now the networks are out here doing what networks do, right? The network opinion shows, they go by news or most trusted or things like that. Um,
snooze.
as new information keeps coming out, we're getting updates to VAERS that were not being updated, even though they were being
Of course,
submitted. They just weren't being accepted and updated into the system. Uh, Bobby Jr. is doing a good job of trying to unbury what's buried, and they're looking at potentially a black box label. Do you want to explain what that means in pharmacy?
Black box label means you can die from it.
Right. And then
That's what it means.
potentially even a ban. They don't know where that age limit would be, but right now they're looking at least 10 and under, possibly 18 and under as a total ban. Pharmacists and doctors would not be able to fulfill that
Do it
order.
at all. Right.
Yeah.
They would be prohibited. Right.
So, and then
Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but the networks are out there with their doctors saying that no, 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 no. Actually, you're far
Gupta,
better off. They're safe and effective. You're
Gupta,
far safer having taken one than not
Gupta.
taking one.
And for everyone who
Gupta.
finds religion on the networks and becomes an apostate, then they don't appear on TV anymore. They just
Mhm.
don't they just don't have them on. I mean, look at who's that guy, Dr. Drew? When's the last time you saw him on any show?
Network
No,
television? No.
no, he tells the truth now. And back then he was a vaccine honk.
Dude, did you see? It was really fascinating to me when the light bulb turned on and he went,
Yes. Yeah.
"Oh my god, I screwed up."
Um,
I recommended this to everybody who asked me, and I made a huge mistake.
and I recommended they give it to their kids.
Yes.
You
Yikes.
gave neurotoxins to young people. Neurotoxins. Now, for those out there, I want to reestablish the fact that I am a pharmacist. I'm a registered pharmacist in 2 states in the United States, and you can call my state board. They've done it, and I've already been investigated. That's fine. I'm still registered. Too damn bad. You missed me. All right. In my life, did I ever think that I'd get rung up by the state board for telling the truth?
Right?
You're not. Oh
No,
my
no,
gosh.
we live in really scary times, okay? But the fact is, nerve cells develop, prior to 18, and oh, you can say, oh no, there's others, no, but the nerve cells are permanent. You have one shot to get the nerve cells right. When my daughter, my late daughter, who fentanyl poisoning, which ended up in a thread I was on today, but my late daughter had spina bifida, and spina bifida is one of those neurologic things where you know the pressure from your cerebrospinal fluid uh, restricts nerve impulses to your lower limbs. So you find a lot of kids in wheelchairs. You find a lot of kids that don't have control of their bowels or their bladder. Uh, all sorts of neurological problems. And here you are messing with that with a fucking shot. I the arrogance and the duplicity and the pure evil of this is just off the charts, that you could subject little kids to this stuff all for a few lousy pharma bucks.
It gives a whole new meaning to the old saying, "The devil in his pomp and pageantry," just prancing around out there without a care in the world. I mean,
Just like
it's
Dr.
still right in your,
Science.
yeah, they're just throwing it right in your face and laughing all the way.
Well,
That
Yeah.
type of pompous behavior. Ah,
I don't think
And
you were
all
able
you
to make
want,
the specific episode that we did of I Am a Science Edward, but we did one where we correlated starting back in the 1870s and not finishing until the 1950s, epidemics ending with cities coming online with modern sanitation systems. And
well,
you go, well, there was vaccines starting to come online in the 1900s too, and I said, I'm not going to say no, but
no.
I'm gonna say that sanitation was the number one end of epidemics or
well,
endemics.
and that is true to a certain point. But remember our conversations, boys, back about a month ago about the lead in gasoline, that causing some DDT. Thinking, oh, Monsanto's produces this new chemical, which it takes out mosquitoes. It's perfectly safe for humans to spraying everybody in these parades if it's nothing, and all those illnesses we got from that. And God forbid, we get into the uh, uh, I forget even the name of that, the Teflon. That poisoning is everywhere now, or microplastics, as I call it. But that's everywhere on the earth now just because of that. So many of these illnesses we got from back in the 40s and 30s, 40s and 50s that no one's talking about. And you know that, JC, we talked about that. They didn't vax out polio. They just renamed it in 3 different categories and quit producing all these dangerous chemicals that we were ingesting. Vax had nothing to do with it, but you're still throwing
Edward,
that in our face.
Edward, going back to my first podcast with you guys on the with the old name,
Mm-hmm.
I pointed out that it is very likely, in fact, I believe that more kids died from cancer and other complications from the polio vaccine than would have died from polio if they didn't take it. And if that makes me an apostate, fuck you. All right, because I think that's true, and I would dare you to prove me wrong on that, because modern sanitation was miraculous in terms of eliminating epidemics, pandemics, everything else. The only thing it didn't stop was the Spanish flu, which was obviously a real deal in the 1915 or so. Okay, the Spanish flu was a big deal, and I mean, I'm sure it didn't come from Spain. It came from China. It came where they all come from. But these guys were spoiling for another bite at that apple, because you'd even hear them say on the margins, "Well, we've really never monetized the flu." You guys really think, yes, you guys really think that a disease state is something to be monetized. And if you put that in your prism and think about what you're watching, it makes perfect sense.
Do you guys see why I don't like?
Unlimited boosters, no
Hey,
matter. Yeah, Gardasil, all this stuff is crap.
I
I
work
mean,
for a British slash Chinese half company in the pharmaceutical industry. The United States government sold us flu shots for 3 cents. We sold them to
yes,
patients for $25 cash plus whatever we could bill their insurance for.
Wow.
exactly.
You see why I don't
You tell
want,
me it's not monetizable?
yeah, a federally mandated healthcare system is the worst idea and system anybody
This,
can
this had
afford,
nothing to do with mandates.
No,
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 no.
no
This
flu
was
vaccine was ever mandated.
right? I'm just
no.
saying, for socialized healthcare, socialist healthcare, it's the worst thing you could ever do. And I don't ever want to see that happen to the states. Oh my God, they got so close with Obamacare.
Edward, it already has.
It's socialized.
Got to get rid of it.
That's
I don't care how you do it.
Obamacare.
Get more competition in by knocking out the big insurance companies. Have all the smaller ones come back in again. I don't know how you're going to do that, but
You,
uh,
oh,
the way it's going,
so
it
it's
might as
not.
well be.
Here's the problem that Republicans want to replace something. It's not replace. Just repeal the damn thing and
Right.
let the
Finally
markets
do it.
just
How are we
open
going
up
to do
and
that?
go.
Replace
Oh
them?
my God!
Do
If I can make 2% profit in this market, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right?
do listen, Republicans, for what it's worth, do what you promised to do
Just get rid of it.
for eight or 10 election cycles. Repeal Obamacare, and now the subsidies are to such a level where you could take that money and send that to people and say, here's your $5,000 to buy health insurance. Go ahead and do it.
On an HSA card.
Right.
Boom.
MediShare, MediShare, anything you want to do to reestablish the private market. And Edward, the amount of money involved in that is such that the industry would adjust on a
You
dime.
would just like you used to see local mom and pop like automotive insurers. You
Yeah.
would see that even come back in the healthcare industry because
I
Yes.
want that. I
there's a
want
buck
that.
to be made, but it's not such a big a buck that it's going to make it super expensive for the consumer
Dude,
because there will be so much competition.
That's what I want.
quantify how much here's the plan, John Thune, all right, you asshole,
That guy.
all right? Take the amount of money that Sombrero Hakeem is screaming about is necessary for subsidies for Obamacare. You know how
Eighteen
much it
thousand
is?
dollars a month.
How much?
I don't. It's
Whatever it
he said
is.
some retarded number.
Whatever it is. It's X amount of dollars per family
Mm,
in the United States.
it
And
is.
do it right now. Cut the check. Return that money to those families and tell them to shop for health insurance with it with an HSA. And let it happen.
On that, also, the zero mandates of required health insurance. If you're a
Exactly.
23-year-old male in peak physical performance, walk into your once a year required annual doctor's appointment and say, "Hey, what's the cash price today?"
Sean,
And then don't
I'm a
pay three or
six,
$400 or $800 a month for a health insurance plan.
Good one.
I'm
You
a
know what?
63-year-old male, and my last doctor visit was in 2013 for an employment physical. All
That's what I
right,
mean.
only because I had to do it.
Yeah,
And
that's what I mean.
the previous doctor visit prior to that was 1995 because my ex was talking about adopting more kids, and I had to get medically cleared to go overseas. That's it.
Sure.
That's it. I'm 63. I can only imagine if I was 22. I
Yeah,
got no use for that.
I
Well,
know.
it's wasted
No.
money.
Well, you know
Well,
what?
and then you get into there's stuff that we used to have that got taken away. Obamacare specifically took away catastrophic only. So cash everything, sans heart attack. Catastrophic only, right?
And
Extended overtime hospital stay.
and if I'm
And
going
you
to
get
and if
that
I'm going to
plan for 25, $35 a month, and you didn't think anything of it. I mean, you went if your employer made you go once a year to get a physical, you paid $25 cash to the doctor. I understand it's not going to come back down to $25 cash, but it's not that much more than that because I pay cash when I go to the doctor. All of these different tiers were disappeared by Obamacare intentionally to plug these plans full, which that's what drove all the prices up from that
course.
25 $50 a month plans to $1,800 a month for family.
And if I wanted an Obamacare bronze plan, they would make me cover abortion for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now, I gotta tell you, I haven't hung out much with people like Hakeem Jeffries and that, and Tim Walls, but I'm really not gonna need abortion coverage. Not, and any amount of money that's wasted on covering me to get an abortion is nonsense.
that's where Edward, and that's what Obama was ultimately getting at, was it socialized our healthcare system.
That's right.
So me and JC, we're paying for abortions that we can't get, but essentially we're
Right.
paying for someone else's abortions.
But that's like paying for
That's what
school buses for your kids to go on a school bus and you got no kids to go to school with. Yeah, that's why I don't like the social
that's
way
what
of doing
that's
things.
what property that's why we need to repeal property taxes,
We
Edward.
do need to
We
repeal
shouldn't even
property
have
taxes.
property taxes. That should be abolished right off the top. True ownership is true ownership, and free speech is still free speech. We shouldn't be paying for that either. Eh?
Man,
Here we
James
are.
Adams really would like you as a Canuck.
Who?
James Adams, one of the founding
Oh,
fathers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He'd be like, for a Canuck, you're all right, guy.
well, thank you.
Yeah, he said, why did we not form an alliance with you guys to push these guys off the continent when
You know,
you're up there all warm in your beds up in Kanakistan?
Well,
we
because
should.
the
You
French
know,
portion all decided they wanted to join the British and come fight us.
it
Not
was
one
such.
time, but two times.
I don't understand that either. And why did the Americans
18,
come here and we go
1812,
here?
1812 was a missed opportunity. You
Hey,
could have
I'm dead.
united behind Old Hickory and ridden with him down to New Orleans to push those sons of
Love that.
bitches into the sea.
Love it. And you know what? That 1812, let's call it a war, what it was. It's never been ended. It's not solved. That's coming now. That's coming back around full circle to being finally ended. And you know what? We talked about this.
It ended
But
in
who's
America with they actually formally signed. They lost. They formally signed a document that says, "Yes, you have your independence,
yeah,
America."
but they didn't mean it.
I don't care if they meant it. Are they able to tax us?
They had Sean. They had their fingers crossed, as you
Of
saw.
course, they had their fingers crossed. Look, and I don't ever think the British Empire is ever been out of the mode of stopping expansion, but they got their own problem. They're literally have been invaded, and they
Mm,
invited the invader in, and I don't know that many of those European countries survive it.
no, and this is why I
No,
got to
they
go
don't.
back to this, and I got to say, first we're worried about Australia, falling so far behind in the communist and socialist ways. England, all of a sudden did the same thing. Now they're going through the same process. Canada now is
I'm
6 months behind
E
England, and we're falling behind
England
that.
has potential. They have enough might, they have enough money,
Mm,
other people's money
will
to
they overturn the last spot?
if the people still choose and force the king to, fix the government and expel the people. Hold on, I'm just saying that they probably do, but places like New South Wales, other small British, or not sorry, well, they are British, sort of. They're in the British Empire, but United Kingdom countries in the United Kingdom, I don't know that they ever return to a European way of life
Can't
ever.
now.
No,
It can't. It's been changed too
Australia,
drastically.
they have a real potential going into 2026
They
to
do
both
because
revolt the king. I know they have. Uh, Look, just like Canada, you guys aren't truly free from the
no,
crown,
God
but
no.
you're freer than you used to be. But they also have a chance to really overturn their government to some extent and to start kicking invaders out of their country.
Our laws are changing so fast, just
Look,
like they did in Australia.
I forgot to tell you, Donald Trump said, "Hey, Australia, you start thinking about this. I'm gonna start building a bunch of shit in Australia." And they're like, "What do you mean, Donald?" He's like, "You know what? I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a teaser, and I'll start this right now. I'm gonna start making American-made submarines in Australia tomorrow, and then there could be more. But wait, there's more. If you only kick the crown out and get the invaders out of your country, there will be more." And this is how Trump works. He's like, "You want to get rich?
Hey,
you want to make
Follow
money?
me.
we've
Right.
been trying
Follow
that.
me.
Wait a second, we've been trying that. Up here's been trying that, but look who's been coming
You
to town.
tariff the shit out of us."
The king comes. Oh, we got. Remember, Canada, you're still belong. The king is here now, taking a vested interest in the country after 50 years for the last time he's been here. All of a sudden now he's also because he knows Trump. Is after what the people
Alberta.
want.
No,
American.
Trump is after Alberta, Edward, and you
Uh,
need to get on board. You either need to move to the United States or to Alberta, one or the
Whichever
other.
way you're looking at, you need
Exactly.
to.
I'm telling you. Yeah, and
I
this is
mean,
what's
he
so.
doesn't need he doesn't need a 51st state across the northern horizon. He needs one that has access to the northern water. That's all he needs.
Yep.
And Alberta is ready to do it.
And once Alberta goes, the rest are going to follow.
No,
Saskatchewan.
they won't. No,
Yeah.
Nova Scotia's never going. You know
Well,
that.
no,
Quebec
that's
will
yeah.
never go. I
Yeah.
mean, the French are, they're brain dead. I mean, Ontario,
Correct.
maybe. Saskatchewan, I think, could. British Columbia, perhaps. But the fact is, Alberta is resource rich, and they are more like a United State than
Oh,
many of
positively.
the United States we have.
You're correct in that. That's why they call it Texas North because they're so much like
Right,
Texas. Just
right,
Nova
the
right.
Scotia
whole
went.
attitude. So you're very right in saying that. But yeah, the big
And not to downplay this, but they have a muscular Catholic presence with Pastor Artur Pawlowski in Calgary. That dude is
oh my
rock
god,
ribbed, man. He's
yeah,
a patriot.
He's a true Christian. That guy. He'll stand by his beliefs. He'll stand by
Well,
them. He
that's
did.
part of it. That's part of it. Edward, if I was a Canadian, I'd move to Calgary and go to his church. I love that man. I
Yeah,
really do.
he's a good guy. But you're right in saying that. But the eastern provinces, yeah, they're so libtarded up. They're so living up
No,
together. You can't
no,
stand
who
the young
cares?
Nova
people.
Scotia,
We're gonna get Greenland. We don't give a shit about the eastern provinces.
Good.
Nova Scotia at this point wants to become their own European country, and they
Ugh.
just want to
God.
expel the
Hey,
all the
maybe they can.
they want to expel all the smelly Canadians that speak English.
You do realize
Maybe they can merge with Iceland. I mean, that would be a real power, huh? Yeah.
You do realize
Finland,
we ran away from Europe to run away from the enslavement of the king back in the day. It hasn't changed at all. Why do they want to invite them back? We just ran away and got rid of the king and everything, and now they want to invite them back over to be. Yeah, let's be part of the European Union. What a great
Edward,
idea!
when did you get rid of him? When did
Well,
you
we
get rid of
didn't.
him?
We
you
didn't.
did.
We
No,
just
you
got
didn't. That's
distance.
right.
We just got distance from the guy, and it was actually so non-offensive back in the day, especially in the War of 1812, when Americans and Canadians just switched.
Ah, here we go.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a bummer he didn't get our messages.
The king is here.
He's locking in as we're getting ready to close out.
No,
What's up, Paul?
listen. I have to bump, but you guys can carry on. All right. Anyway,
Very good, sir.
I'll stop shooting down all your great theories, Edward. All right, you guys have a good evening.
Man, have a good time with the
Okay.
kids. Have a good
I
time.
love you, Paul. Take care, brother.
What's going on, Paul?
How you doing, bro?
Doing
Hey.
good. Yeah, well, he's got a family engagement, so we started about an hour ago. But I've
Yeah.
still got some time. So if Edward's got time, let's hang out for
No,
a little
I'm
bit.
dropping about 5. I just want to see Paul and say hi to him and bug him again, that type of thing, That's why, because I haven't seen him in a while. Hope things are good.
Things could be better, man. We
Well-
got Venezuela and Gaza, and yeah, we're raining hellfire and damnation on top of everybody.
Oh my God, they just can't. They're freaking the F out, man.
About the Venezuela deal?
Venezuela. They
I don't
can't
know why.
stop Paul. And I love it because they're saying things now that are going to get them in legal trouble. I mean, they're like, we think that the military is the only way now to
Right.
save us from President Trump. What are
Right.
they? But you know exactly what they're calling for. And that is unlawful, it's seditious, and it's a serious crime. Am I wrong? So, look, it's good time. The fun
I'm
stuff.
not in a position to comment at
The
the
fun
moment.
stuff with Gaza is all the AI videos that people are putting together that are just complete bogus. Of now that the whole place is flooded and 30 degrees.
Oh,
So I'll get
dude.
under there and I'll pull up a current weather report. 72 degrees in Gaza.
Yeah,
Sun has been shining for 17 hours today.
yeah.
And posted underneath their post. Like, really? Yeah, there's just
we're
kids
already-
huddling in 3 feet of water
Yeah.
under a bamboo tent. Is there bamboo in Gaza?
No,
There's bamboo in North Carolina because people
Yeah,
think
they're getting
I'm
old
sick.
2009 photos from Nigeria and Sudan and stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, people, listen, brother, I got to drop now. Paul, good seeing you again. Hopefully we get hooked up sometime on a podcast with Sean and JC, and we'll just do a night of it of absolute nonsense. Just not
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry.
it's-
I've been working on Gaza all afternoon, and I just didn't have time to get here in time.
No, I get that. I know.
Well,
I know.
Edward, to your point, it has been a long time since we've done a foursome
Yeah,
and got out on the golf course, and all 4 of us just kind of shot the shit. So
yeah.
we
Get caught up
do
on
need to
term
set that up.
events, including the Gaza event and Venezuela and No, I guess we can't do that really on. No, not live, but yeah, we just
Uh,
got to get caught up on news, I guess. So, all right, gents. See you later on then, and have a good night.
right on.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right,
Hey,
see ya.
by the way, declare independence from the crown, foreign
Correct.
agriculture. Uh,
Nope, you're right.
if you
Got
could
the
have that done by Tuesday, we would like to talk about it and show the document live here on the Canuck Show podcast.
I'm taking the declaration to Ottawa Monday, so I should be almost in time.
Oh, I don't know. So there's a story of I'll have to tell you the story, or you can read it on my Substack for everyone that doesn't know I have a Substack, Sean.Strom, Substack.com. The Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence was about a year before the United States declared independence. And the problem we made is we sent it to the Constitutional Congress, and they never sent it to the king. Don't go directly to Ottawa. Deliver it directly to your king.
Wow.
But if you want to hear that whole story, I have written a beautiful Substack piece about it. It's on the Substack, so go check it out. I am not going to spend a lot of time talking about it right here.
Certainly will. All right, brothers. Good night.
Have you been to the Substack?
No, I didn't even know you had one until last week.
Oh, you gotta go to the Substack. There's so much good stuff over there.
I know. I just found that out just a while ago. I didn't even know
Hit
you
the
had one either.
subscribe.
No one
Wait,
does.
if you hit subscribe, you'll get an email when I post a new Substack.
Oh,
And I don't post them often. It's not like X. I don't post all day every day. I
right.
post every 3 or 4 weeks
All
of
right.
some interesting story.
I would definitely check that out. Now I'm
All
going.
right, man.
Now I'm going.
Good. I hope to see you maybe tonight. I'll see. I got a new subscriber named King Edward.
Yeah, you are. All right, guys. See you. I'm signing off.
Yep. See you,
Right
pal.
on. So as we were closing that out, I thought it was funny. I was explaining how Trump was looking at Australia like, hey, Canada, they never declared independence. And you guys have never declared independence. And like, do you guys want to get out of the game? I know we need a place to build submarines, but we could build a lot more if you just declare independence. And they're like, wait, what are you talking about, Mr. Trump? He goes, well, hold on, I'll give you a teaser. We'll just start building submarines in Australia because it's really close to China and all the other things that we need to be involved in over there.
Yeah.
And then if you get a liking for that, you guys start making some money, and you ever want to declare independence from England and join, you don't have to be a state, but join Team USA. We could build more shit together. You want to get really fucking rich, Australia? You want to get really fucking rich? And they're like, tell me more.
Yeah.
And they were instead of rejecting the whole thing, they were just like, I want to know more about this rich. What's rich?
I want to learn more.
Yeah, please. I don't understand rich. There is no rich here. Now, there's a healthy middle class. There is.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of rich people. So they're like, yes, please. Yes, Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Thank you so much for considering us. That would be awesome.
We're so glad that you're pissed off at Canada right now. We'd be glad to actually do what you told Canada to do. So we are no problem. So I don't know how that'll all end up, but right now it looks really promising.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it would be very beneficial to the Australian people to be truly an independent nation.
And there's already, when I was there, I thought there were 4 major shipbuilding operations around the continent of Australia. They had one up north, one in the far west in Perth.
Oh, wow.
They had one south in Canberra, and then one north in Dili. And I toured the one in Dili because that's where I was evacuated to from East Timor.
Oh, okay.
And dude, I mean, they have 100% capability of building submarines and that kind of thing.
Is
Yep.
that look at it, I know that we get into stuff that gets to places where your company might, and we can't really talk about that. But I know Trump wants to at least bring some of that back commercially, like oil tankers, freighter
Yeah.
vessels to the United States, where we kind of gave a lot of that to China. Is that
Yeah.
something that you think, like a Florida, a Ron DeSantis might go? Oh, I would love to take what New Jersey used to have. And
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
and bring that industry back
And bring
away
that
from,
industry back and yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Yeah.
which obviously, as the world continues to expand until you have, and it's going to take a while, until you have rocket flight from here to China that takes 30 minutes, and it will happen eventually. You're still going to be using container ships to ship goods all around the world, and
Yeah.
we need thousands and thousands and thousands of more of them.
Yeah.
And I would like to see them all flying an American flag. Why shouldn't Amazon start with their own money, of course,
Right.
building container ships,
Yep.
right, and building connexes,
Yep.
and
100%, dude.
right?
And so, yeah.
That's why I stayed commercial.
Yeah.
So think commercial. I mean, FedEx even. FedEx, I know that they've been very successful plane flight. So is Amazon, by the way. But you
Yep.
can move a hell of a lot more shit on a ship at about the same cost as a single plane trip.
So I'll just say we're in discussions with FedEx, Amazon via the AWS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so and that's all I could say is we're in discussions with them about some alternative resourcing to move logistic support and mission support, you know,
That makes sense to me. I get where you're
efficient.
going, but something that else just came up to me because Bezos, he's not going to do it through Amazon. I know Bezos has pretty much controlling shares of Amazon, but a lot of people think he's Amazon. He's not.
Hey, can I pause you for a second? I got to
Yeah,
take
go
this
ahead.
call. I'm working in Gaza right now, so
Yeah,
give
yeah,
me
yeah. Go ahead. But that Amazon is looking at, or not Amazon, Blue Origin is looking to copy Elon. Haha. So what? And he's copying something that's going to work and do data centers in space. And I just thought, I wonder if they could do data centers solar powered on a giant cargo ship, just bobbing around in the Atlantic or Pacific or some other ocean with their satellite based internet. I thought that would be a very interesting idea. Who knows? Just just throwing it out there. Always fun when Paul's got to take a work call. But I don't know. What do you guys think? We got listeners. Drop us a comment. Data centers in the ocean, or you prefer them up in space? I mean, space makes sense. But if you're going to do solar power, obviously you could do that on a ship out at sea. I don't. Would it be more efficient? Would it be less efficient? I mean, you got water. I know it's salt water, but you got water for cooling. You have no water in space for cooling data centers in space. So you'd have to do some sort of heat sinking. And there's really no wind. So heat sinks are going to have to be abnormally large compared to what you think of as a heat sink with a fan on it here on Earth, because there's no wind. Well, there's solar winds. That's different. It's not the same kind of wind. So I don't know. Love to hear your thoughts. Always, as always, drop us a comment. I think it'd be interesting. I do think Australia's in play. I think Canada, as much as we love our Canuck friend Edward, they're clearly making a move away from the United States. They believe that the European Union is their way forward. Let them try it. I feel bad for the Canucks that we're always so American friendly. Former steel workers, just like we had the steel built here, that all got sent overseas. And former automakers, and less auto manufacturing is happening in that same area right along the Great Lakes, both in Canada and the United States. And it would have been nice to see them kind of team up with us, even if they would have never been the 51st state, but just become a better neighbor. But they're not interested. They're interested in globalism, sadly, and there's nothing you can do to stop Carney, who is their prime minister right now, from going that direction. It's a bummer, absolute bummer. I'll count 1, 2, 3. Only one of those looks like, is one of those a shotgun on the wall? It looks like just one. What do you guys think? On the rack behind Paul? Looks like one. Just one. Interesting. Oh yeah. Oh, and another thing I saw, which is interesting. NATO's planning on putting $1 billion worth of equipment into Ukraine every month moving forward. Which, first of all, I think what's interesting about that is it really won't be American money this time. They're just gonna have to pay for it with NATO members' money. So that's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. But also, I'm not sure if they realize that this war might actually end.
Sorry about that.
But listen, when they call the bat phone, uh,
I got an answer, dude.
you got an answer. I get it.
I got shit going on in Gaza. I got shit going on in Venezuela. We're busy as we want to be, bro.
Well, that's good.
And I got to make myself available,
So, well, absolutely. Man, at least you guys can freaking submit invoices again. Right? Oh,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I got like 450 million DSO, man. Days outstanding.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. So,
well, hopefully they. That actually brings up something. Batch payment systems. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but basically, the way companies work, the way government works, especially the interaction between those two and payments.
Yep.
You submit an invoice, right? Okay, so they've got so many days to approve it after that, whatever it is, net 15,
yeah,
30,
net
90,
30, net
120.
45. Yeah.
All right, so once all the approvals happen on the payer side, literally a spreadsheet is built of what account gets paid what dollar amount to
That's
the
right.
account number with
Yep.
a code on it, a payment code that just says trash bags, or it says to destroy a container, or whatever it says. It's just a very small explainer code. And a lot of times our government doesn't even include those, which infuriated Elon. Then they literally get sent in a batch file to the payer's bank account on a Saturday. And it sits there until Monday, until some human being uploads the batch file spreadsheet
That's right.
that starts the payment process to get the payment to the payees. And that's what Elon said. we gotta fix this. This is like so 1960s. We gotta fix this, and that's why he has been working so hard. X payments or X cash won't mean anything really to you or me. Like if
Yeah,
I would transfer cash to Paul, I can transfer cash to Paul because I can already work outside of that archaic batch file system.
right.
But business to business does not work like that.
Yeah,
What he's building with Xcash is going to be an on-demand style thing where a company can submit an invoice
yeah,
and expect a reasonable 12-hour turnaround on payment.
dude. Did you listen to Brent Driscoll, the Secretary of the Army? He gave this
I don't know if you sent me that link. Did
when I
did you
was
ever
at
send me that
yeah,
that
I need to do that. But when he was at AUSA, he said all this year-long procurement shit is done. Done. We're done with it. You, all you fat cat generals sitting here in the front row, you need to polish up your resume because we're not doing this procurement shit anymore. It's going to be 6 weeks maximum. And when you submit a proposal, we're going to have an answer to you in 6 weeks. God damn it. I'm sorry, dude. I got to take this.
Oh, well, all right. All right, so the government procurement process is very slow, very cumbersome, especially depending on what type of work you want to do. Now you say, Sean, I just want to buy toilet paper. Okay, what's the threshold dollar amount of toilet paper you're going to spend over that year? Because that's going to change it from thresholds like a micro purchase where you don't really need to, you just order it. You just Lowe's or Home Depot or Costco or Sam's Club, and you just order it in small enough increments you can store it. But what if it's over 10,000? Well, now it's a small purchase. Well, what does that mean? Well, now I have to do a mini bid. I'm going to send out and say, hey, I'm going to order this much toilet paper in cases over the course of a year. What's your price? Well, well, what if you're the U.S. military and it's going to be $3 million worth of toilet paper? Well, then now you have to do a proposal and say, well, how are you going to deliver this to all of the stations I need in every place for this product for this year? You tell me, you give me the answer. I'm requesting you propose an answer to me. And within that answer, I'm also looking for a price. But price is now not the only factor in the game. It also has to commit to lead time. It has to commit to you storing product for us until we're ready to receive it, and then lead time from that. And it has to the product likability. We really like super soft 3-ply, but you guys were only going to probably offer one ply to make it cheaper. So what Paul's talking about, you get some of these procurements for a simple item like toilet paper that could take a year to get a decision on, and it is dumb. It's totally dumb. It's out of control, dumb. That has nothing to do with what I was talking about with the way we pay people. That's just another dumb portion of this. But yeah, Paul recently went to a trade show. That podcast is available wherever you're listening to this podcast, where we talked about the trade show. We talked about the new direction for the military. We show off a lot of great photos and videos of modern available war equipment, most of which can be fully autonomous or robot, or it can be controlled by humans. That's a really good one to go look at. So I would highly recommend going back, whichever place you watch this podcast on, and checking that out with Paul. Really good stuff. Again, the procurement process. Then you could go, well, I need to buy buses. I need to buy a lot of buses, but I can't buy a lot of buses all at one time. But I want to buy like maybe 20 buses a year for 5 years or 10 years. And they're going to be newer every year, but and we'll renegotiate a little bit every year. But basically, I'm going to promise you, I'm going to buy 200 buses from you over 10 years. Those things, I've had those run out 18 months from initial concept of, hey, we need to find a new bus manufacturer. Our contract's running out with this bus company. Let's open it back up. There's 3 or 4 American bus companies. There's a Chinese bus company that technically qualifies for Buy America. And you put together your requirements. The bus companies then come back and say, hey, we can't meet your requirements. We can meet them with this. The selection committee goes, well, yeah, those are cool things. So you redo your requirements, send it back. I was just explaining how arduous just the procurement process was. For toilet paper, I started with, and then I started on buses.
Oh yeah.
But
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
can I say something?
Yeah, jump in, man.
I'm really sorry, dude, but I gotta go. I just got so much going on. I have to tend to it.
Yeah, right on, man. Let's close this thing out.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
love you guys. I gotta tend to this. This
I
is
got it. Thanks, everybody.
yeah.
I hope you had a good time. Join us again.
All right.